What's up everybody, Couch Mills here, coming at you with a brand new Valorant video. And in this video we're going to be teaching you how to absolutely frag out like TSM Wardell, who is not only just an insane player, he had the highest competitive kills worldwide in 2020 with 2,816 since the game's been released, and that is freaking amazing. Now as we look to put 2020 behind us, let's look to one of the best of the best so that he can show us some tips and tricks that we can incorporate in our games to break through any limit that we had in 2020 and reach new pinnacles in 2021. But go to the Game Leap website right now, the link's down below for in-depth advanced VODs just like this, tips and tricks, map guides, agent courses, we got it all, so go check it out. But without further ado, let's jump into the video. Now first off, we're gonna break down the dreaded pistol round, which for those of you who don't know, TSM in general just can't win a pistol round. So a lot of the times, Wardell, you know, he doesn't even buy anything in the pistol round. They lost it so many times that he just often saves for an op, will buy like one ability, and they're so unconfident in their ability to win pistol rounds that they just don't even play for it. But I think that's been a self-fulfilling prophecy, not only giving yourself a good chance at winning pistol rounds, but it's been shown throughout First Strike that you cannot just win every single game if you're losing every single pistol round. So it looks like Wardell is actually trying to win pistol rounds again. And now specifically when he's playing Jet, he's going to be rocking that classic pistol plus armor, which remember, that is like the de facto thing to run right now. Ghost pistols are being picked less and less because we've said it before, armor is just a better time to kill, and that right click is overpowered. And then to round out his kit, he's gonna buy 2 smokes and 2 updrafts, which is a pretty well-developed kit for a Jet on that pistol round, and it's pretty powerful, honestly. Now while his team rushes mid-A, Wardell is actually gonna go claim showers here, which is one of the big things that a lot of low-ranked players just don't understand why it's so important. So let me break it down for you why it's so important for you to claim this space. Too many games can be lost to an enemy holding here, and because Wardell goes here and clears it out, this is one less angle for his teammates to protect. You need to understand that if his team want to go rush onto point and take point control, if they don't clear showers and someone is showers, they could get killed from behind while they're on point, and even if they want to plant and go back to default, they could get flanked around, and you're also giving up orb control. Now Wardell goes here alone. It's often better to send 2 people here, but Wardell is Jet, which gives him an out, which makes it a lot more likely that he's gonna win any duels he comes across. Plus, he's freaking Wardell, but in your games, I would highly suggest bringing 2 people to clear this, even if one person backs off and leaves after you take that initial orb and you take that initial clear. Now from this angle, Wardell gets to wrap around and kill the enemies pushing his teammates. Notice that he never pushed out though and challenged until the enemy was actively engaging. This is one of the big problems that happens all the time, where when you have a really powerful angle like showers, people want to push out, go challenge CT, they get killed from heaven, they want to go push to the backside of point, and they have to hold all these aggressive angles, when really the enemy is the one that needs to contest the spike. You have a powerful angle that can contest the point and the spike and the areas that contest your allies in U-Haul and in a default. There's no reason for you to push out aggressively, which is exactly what Wardell does, but when the enemy team actually start engaging, then he could push out, gets an easy kill on Sova, and the rest is just clean up from there. Damn, it looks like Wardell can win pistol rounds, and if he can win pistol rounds, we all can. No, I'm just kidding. Wardell's nuts. But moving on to the next round, after they won that first pistol round, Wardell is actually going to upgrade to full armor plus Spectre, which is interesting because Spectre has had a lot of mixed feelings recently, with people feeling that it doesn't upgrade very well. So some people are resorting to all kinds of different weapons like stingers and even phantom light shields and different things like that. And there's a lot of things to choose from, so I'm going to tell you what you need to be thinking about when you're deciding what weapon to upgrade to in that second round. Now the first thought of a lot of people is that they just want to buy a stinger. They win that first round, they want to buy full armor plus a stinger because it's pretty good against pistols, and it's just better against ARs because it has a superior 1v1 capability rather than a Spectre at less of a price. Now, yes, that is true, but its big weakness, the Stinger's big weakness, is twofold. First, its low effective range, which can be marginalized with that ADS, but the second one, and even the bigger weakness that it has, is that it has a low clip. And while it's really amazing in a straight up 1v1 from close range, fighting multiple enemies, especially if they're rushing you and putting pressure on you, that could be a time where you just run out of ammo resources and then you just get killed yourself. You see, when you're up in the money, a lot of the time what you need to be thinking about is not how you can cheese out enemies. You don't need to, because you can buy better equipment and just play at better effective ranges. You are instead trying to prevent yourself from getting cheesed, which can happen all the time when you run into people with shotguns, get pushed by people with stingers, with light armor, or whatever the case may be. And in all those cases, whether the enemy's saving, whether the enemy's buying a Spectre or whatever, a lot of the time, Spectre is going to be a more reliable weapon, but like I said, it doesn't scale as well into the later rounds. So while I wouldn't suggest everyone on the team to buy it, especially if you are a dueler and you want to make sure that you can clean up all these guns and all these kills and all these weakened targets, the Spectre is going to be a much more reliable weapon, very capable of 100% confirming that second round no matter what the enemy decide to do. Now, another thing that a lot of people are doing very often in ranked and sometimes even in the higher ranks, but it is a really big risk, and it's rocking a Phantom or a Vandal plus light armor. Now, the thought here is that you get to pick the best of all worlds, right? You get a better gun for that second round, and then you just have to buy armor in that third round, so you never have to bonus, and you're never stuck with something like a Stinger or a Spectre or anything like that. You just get to rock the Phantom in both the second and the third round. However, what people fail to understand is that armor is the most important differentiating factor when you have better guns than the enemy. There's a reason that no one ever buys an AR when they can't buy armor at all. And there's a reason that Phantom Light can be such a big liability when enemies' time to kill is much less when you're only at that 125, and a lot of weapons will be able to trade damage with you. And if you ever die in a situation where your allies can't retrieve your weapon, if the enemies ever get a hold of that Phantom, you could absolutely throw around because you were the only one that bought a Phantom, and now your teammates are up against the Phantom when they have a whole bunch of Spectres and Stingers, and you can actually completely ruin your economy for many rounds down the line. And I've seen it far too often where that first round pistol round, they win as a team, some of them buy those ARs plus light armor, and then they lose. The enemies get free AR upgrades, get to win the next round for free, get to have a fair fight in the preceding round after that, and they didn't have to spend a dime on this AR, and it's just a really big liability, so definitely keep that in mind. And you can see right from this gameplay, the enemy Reyna is going to get 2 shotgun kills, and his allies are going to give away valuable weapons like one of these Phantoms, and they're not going to get any trades in the process, making it impossible for Wardell to win this, even though he played it pretty well. Now, in this next attacking point, they're going to be taking A side, and as he peeks out, the enemy Reyna is going to kill his ally Hookah, and she's actually going to dismiss to the back of sight, which he directly counters with a dash and a really easy kill to punish that dismiss. You're going to see a lot of opportunities with Jett where you have a very small window of time to dash in and punish, whether that's like a Sova ult or a Reyna dismiss or just about anything. There are going to be these opportunities that you can easily capitalize if you're ready for, and Wardell is always ready to push that dash button. But afterwards, he makes sure to retake guarding control, and he's going to smoke off elbow, and it's important, I say it all the time, but smokes make it so much more risky for an enemy to push on sight because the area that they're safe, which is in the angle of elbow or wherever they're holding, that line of sight to other angles, they cannot check. So now they have to check even more angles as they push out, and it's easier for you to get those kills, and that's something that you could do with Jett on the fly, especially when the time is ticking down. You can use these smokes to temporarily prevent an enemy from pushing or disincentivize them, and even if they do, they're going to be easier for you to kill. Now, because of all this, they easily secure the round, and the takeaway for you is, yes, you could go for these aggressive plays where you go punish an enemy like he did, but it's important that after the fact, you don't get over eager, and you come back and take the power angles and the smart positioning afterwards, because far too often I see players make a play and then afterwards they kind of feel themselves a little bit, they go push even more aggressive, they're like, oh man, I just popped up, let's go in even more, then they die, and then they lose the point when they could have just backed off, took that kill in the bag, and then secured the proper positioning. Now, moving on to some opping from Wardell. One of the most important things with opping is relaying to your teammates where they should focus attention. What I mean by that is a lot of times you're holding certain angles, but you can't hold every angle, and Wardell is going to be holding on sight, and he's going to call to his Omen over and over again that he needs to guard for U-Haul, and that Omen has to trust that Wardell has that angle. And when you're opping, you just have to make sure that you're guarding the angles that your ally can't, so that he can focus, really focus on that one angle you can't contest. But, and here's really important, You cannot miss the shot on your ally if you tell him you're gonna hold his angle. He will never trust you again over that course of the game. Well, I know this might put a little bit more pressure on you. It's just with practice and repetition, you'll be really confident and say things like that. Say, I got this angle, guard the other angle, guard U-Haul, guard whatever, because I'm gonna punish any enemies that swing out to try to contest you. Now, the enemy is tired of Wardell's shit, because they literally smoke him off from challenging showers, and they're going to tag him with recon and push out. Now, he's gonna get droned, and then he's gonna get headshotted and chased by 2 enemies because he's really, really weak, and the Omen is even gonna invest a flash to try to catch him out. Now, Wardell is really weak here at only 6 HP, and a lot of times players get really scared here. They just want to run. But the plus side is when you are specifically weak and it looks like you're retreating, there's a moment of time where the enemies just assume that you're running and they want to chase you down. But Wardell often holds his ground instead, and that's exactly what he does. He swings out here, challenges the enemy, gets that insta-kill, and instantly dashes before any refrags happen. You got to be ready to actually turn the tables on an enemy, especially with an op, because all that matters is getting that one shot. Now, even though he killed this Sova and he lits this Omen for literally 149, check out this Omen teleport glitch that gets him killed. We've talked about this before on the channel, and it's still happening in a game that happened yesterday. This Omen actually teleports to the left of where it shows, and the takeaway for you outside of the fact that when pressure is being put on you, that's the time where you can turn the tables. The second thing that you need to be careful of is this damn Omen glitch, because if you lose to it in your games, just be prepared an Omen to just not consistently teleport where it shows he will. Now, for this last play that we're going to break down, 2 of his teammates die, but he's going to use knives to aggressively take showers here, which is pretty par for the course. A lot of players will do this because you could aggressively dash, updraft, and challenge anyone that's sitting here, and they're not ready for someone to just aggressively take this angle. But now, because he has an operator, he can control U-Haul and the entire swing peak angle of A side on the front end, which is incredibly powerful. Now, importantly enough, he's not going to go wrap around or go make an aggressive play on the back side or anything like that. He's going to hold his position and just lock down this point. He's going to continue holding this position until his teammates rotate back, which is something that I would highly suggest to you. A lot of times, enemies that will lurk back here, you'll be able to catch out. And even if they don't, when your team finally come back on site, you're ready and there to punish any enemies that want to contest them while still maintaining a certain amount of control on site. Now, he's going to jiggle peek U-Haul, crush the enemy there, and then he's going to hold his crosser for the swing out on the front of A, and that actual angle protects from potentially back to sight and also any swing from showers. So he could punish either swing here, and he kills that Omen who swings from showers. Now, his Rand is going to make the smart play and instantly teleport because they know that the last is on site, which is something that you should almost always do. If you know a person is on site in a really scrappy battle, you can just dip out of there, even if it's like, you know, 1 person or 3 people or whatever the case may be, because you put the enemy in a retake scenario that is just going to be very difficult for them to win in. But Wardell and Sova kind of troll here. I think it's because Wardell just doesn't respect the enemy cipher. And while Wardell almost throws here, he actually makes it to that teleporter and barely gets the TP off. But Wardell is going to do something interesting. He's going to run out of the TP and he's going to go high to the left so the enemy thinks that he just booked it to point. A lot of the time, if you wait in the TP too long and the doors open late, enemies are going to be thinking, hey, he's probably hiding in the TP. But because Wardell just opened it right away, the Cypher imagined that he just ran straight in, and then Wardell aggressively peeked the Cypher after the Wardell opened the doors himself and hit him with that easy right click, something that completely played around the Cypher's expectations, and he ended up getting the kill there. But if you want to frag out like Wardell, do yourself a favor and go check it out on the Game Leap website where we have in-depth VODs over tons and tons of pro players so that you can easily learn from some of the best players in the entire world how to improve and get better, climbing to the high ranks of Valorant. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for coming by. Definitely let me know if you have any suggestions of videos in the comments down below. That's all I got for you today. I'm Coach Mills. I love your faces, and I'll see you tomorrow.